So welcome back. This is part 3 of the DIY belt sander. We're going to be talking about the motor mainly today. So in case you didn't know, I'm getting this motor out of a treadmill that I got for free off Marketplace. You can also probably find a treadmill for free or cheap on Marketplace too. It might just take a couple days of looking. Towards the end of the video, I'm also going to talk about the bearings that I got out of the treadmill that I'll likely be using for other parts of this project. So I've been trying to get this, what is this, flywheel off this treadmill motor, and it's not coming off. I watched a video where the guy, he hooked the motor in reverse, like he just flipped these two wires, and then he held it, and then he turned it on, and then it just undid itself. But that didn't work for me. This is really stuck on, so I've been using this PV blaster stuff. Hopefully I can get it unstuck. I also tried to get like a little wrench thing on this bottom thing. As you can see, I kind of stripped it out. I mean, it was circular to begin with, but it's kind of nasty now. But I also couldn't get it. It kept just slipping, whatever. So I'm hoping if I let this sit for a day or two, then hopefully it'll just get all in there so I can get it out easier. So, because I can't get this treadmill flywheel off, I'm just going to cut it off. I'm going to cut this, expose the bolt threads, and hopefully I can put some PV blaster in there. Just expose them a little bit, put the PV blaster in, and then I can unscrew it out, because I don't think I hit any of the bolt threads right now when I was doing this. So I'm going to cut a little bit deeper. So I got the flywheel off. I ended up grinding this thing pretty much all the way around. Guess I didn't know that this cylinder went all the way down to here, and then the thread started. If I had known that, then I probably would only grind to here, and then I could just pull it out, because this is just going to be the same diameter all the way through. But, oh well, what are you going to do? I'll have to make this work somehow. So, this is how it is going to be. Laid out just like this, pretty much. And then the belt is going to go from here to a tensioner here, and then the big grinding thing here, and then back to the motor. Alright, so I marked where the holes are in the bottom of the treadmill motor. Now I'm just going to drill these out with my drill press, and then we can stick some bolts in to mount it. So mounting this treadmill motor is a huge pain, because there's two bolts in the back, like on the bottom of it, like right here. So one of the bolts is not that bad because it's right there. So I just drill a hole. And then the other one though is up in here. So I could do a really long bolt, but I don't have any really long bolts of that thread, and that's pretty long. That's more than 2 inches of bolt. I could go to Lowe's and get one or whatever, but instead I drill a hole on the inside just like this one, so it's right here, and I drilled a hole here. So then what I did was I tipped this thing upside down. I stuck in the bolt, and then what I did was took this, and then I fed this up through the top part all the way till I got till here, and then I shoved this down on it so that I could get this socket on this bolt as well. And then I screwed the bolt in, which was a pain trying to balance this socket all the way up through until the end here. But I mean, it works, and I think it's a better solution than having a bolt that goes all the way through. I just feel like that's not as stable, but it's definitely easier to it's more accessible. So I mean, they both have their pros and cons, but yeah, everything is welded up now, and this is bolted in, so that's good. So the next thing I'm going to do is get these bearings out of these posts. So these were, one was in the back of the treadmill and one was in the front. It's basically what the treadmill thing runs on. And then this is what connected to the motor with a pulley. So there are some bearings in here which I can use for my belt sander. So I'm going to get them out of there. I just got this pole out of this one, so this was in here, and I just pounded it out with a hammer. This tool comes in handy because there's these clips on there, at least for mine. So I'm gonna get these bearings out and then I'll be right back. Alright, so I got one of them out. Sprint's pretty nice. I knew there was no chance of me getting it out from here because it's press fit, so I cut off the end like that, and this was in here like this, so I got a socket and then I just hit it with a hammer until the bearing came out, basically. So I'm going to do that to the other ones, and I'll be right back. So using this press thing actually works pretty good too. Probably better than the hammer, but the thing is, this wall from the bearing to the outside is very, very thin. So you have to, I use these blocks, and you gotta get it just on the side so that you're not also pushing the bearing. You're just, so you're like pushing the bearing out, but the bearing is not going to hit these things when it goes out. So that's the thing about this. So you got to adjust it really carefully, and then if you do get it, then it's easier than using the hammer, but if you don't, you can kind of mess it up. Alright, so it's going through now. You can see it. I don't know if you can see on the camera, but this. So you can see the bearing is getting pushed down, which is what we want. Alright, there we go. So we just took out this press fit bearing. Spins really nice. So here's all four of the bearings that came out of the treadmill. They spin pretty decently. Since I'm gonna only need 3, I'm just gonna take the ones that spin the best. I did dent one of these when I was trying to take apart the treadmill. This one, you can hear it. I'm just gonna use these on the sanding belt thing, so that there's gonna be 2 wheels, and then the belt is gonna go between those. So that's gonna be 2 of them. Then the other one is gonna be the adjuster that's gonna be able to go up and down. That can make the belt really tight to keep it from sliding off. Alright, well, thanks for sticking around for part 3. And next we'll be on part 4, which we're going to be dealing with the tracking mechanism that is going to keep pressure on the belt to keep it on the machine.